there is a unity in the bond of war. I was never in the service. I know some of you have been, and Frank shared a little bit about his experience of being in Vietnam. And if you're not as old as I am, when you hear I was there during 67 and 68, those were the hot and worst times of the Vietnam War, as far as I know. At least some of the worst times. And there is a bond that comes between human beings who face death together in the midst of war that is unlike any other bond. It just is. It's similar in the sense that it will join together people of various faiths, of various backgrounds, of various levels of intelligence, but they all have been trained within a certain area of capability. But more importantly, now they are together and depending upon one another in the face of impending potential death. That's a bond unlike any other bond. And there are many who use the bond of war, though not actual physical war, to gather people around them. Hey, you know what? There's a war going on against the church. And it's a war of, and fill in the blank, and you've heard people talk about it. Not that it isn't true, but when we gather around in the bond of war, we're missing the whole first part of chapter 4. Yeah. What are we supposed to do? Walk worthy. How do we walk worthy? Oh, in all lowliness, gentleness, long-suffering, and bearing with one another. In the bond of war, it's about let's find what's wrong. Let's find what's out of order. Let's identify the enemy, and let's strike. Or at least, let's gather the forces around us and withdraw ourselves from that, which is not what Jesus told us to do. Jesus said, we're in the world, but we're not of the world. And so therefore, don't you dare start this before the Holy Spirit comes upon you, not many days from now. But after the Holy Spirit comes upon you, you shall receive power, and you shall be my witnesses. And not just here in Jerusalem, not just locally. You're going to go to the uttermost ends of the world, which is exactly what happened. So we have a calling. We have a calling to go out as far as God calls us to go. For some, it has been to the uttermost parts of the world. For others, it's your local neighborhood. Wherever it is, we're called to go forth and to share the gospel and to be witnesses by who we are and what we do and what we say. Right? And to do that, keep endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. That we are gathered together in the peace and power of Jesus Christ, not in identifying our enemy and striking.